Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network, and tonight we continue with our coaches' spring football recaps. And tonight we begin with the head football coach for the O'Galley Commodores. Amazing to think that this guy, it's already been 7 years, I believe, going into his seventh year next year. I'll double check with him, but please help me welcome the head football coach for the O'Galley Commodores, Chris Sands. Coach, welcome. Is it already going to be 7 years already?
It is. I actually had a conversation with someone last week about it, and yeah, it's 7 years, man. It's been a fun ride, a fast ride, but I'm just excited for everything that goes with it.
All right, Coach. I drove by, on my way to a lot of softball and baseball at O'Galley. I would see you guys over there practicing for the spring. Take us through your spring a little bit in the 2.5 weeks you had with your guys. What did you see from your football team in the spring?
Yeah, no, we're just excited to get back on the field. We have a veteran group that's been with us for a while now, so they understand our expectations of how to practice. It was frustrating that we couldn't find a game to play in, but, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So we just went out there and practiced for a few weeks. I had a lot of conversations about, how do I get, 16, 17-year-old kids motivated without a game at the end. But we were lucky enough to have, 6, 7 college coaches out there at a time. So it was almost like a job interview every single day for our kids. So practices went really smooth. We stayed healthy. And obviously gearing up for our summer and gearing up for our fall camp, I think we're going to be in good shape.
Coach, did you played at the collegiate level where you didn't play against another college? You did those inter-squad scrimmages. Did you like not having a game? Some coaches said they liked not having to prepare for a game because it gave them time to concentrate and focus on just getting kids better. How did you find that overall process at the high school level?
For me as a head coach, I loved it, to be honest. I probably wouldn't do it again if I had the choice because, again, I like that competition at the end. But it just took out the game plan to having to deal with that. And, again, we got swamped with coaches. I mean, we were, like I said, over 10 coaches a day during the day and then obviously 6 or 7 at practice. So there wasn't a lot of time. And I got 3 young kids, and going home, I didn't want to go home and game plan, do all that stuff. So time-wise, it was obviously beneficial for me. And again, at the end of the day, we stayed healthy, and obviously we got better each day. And I think we have a good shot to be really good this coming year.
Coach, what did you like most about what you saw from your football team in the spring?
I just love the seriousness and the structure of what we had. Our kids know what we have in front of us, so we have a chance to be really special this coming year. We played a lot of kids early in their high school career to kind of get to this point. And I think they understand the expectation of how good we can actually be. So the seriousness, the structure, the discipline, we had that this spring. And again, I think the way our program has kind of progressed, I think our time is now, and our time to win it all is pretty close.
Coach, obviously in the state of Florida, the merry-go-round of transfers is in, it's out, it's in, it's out. With a lot of these student athletes, who are some of the and I know for you and for your coaching staff, who you rely heavily on, it's a team effort. But who are some of the players that will be returning for you this year that we can look forward to seeing back in a Commodore uniform?
Yeah, I think a couple of the big ones are Brandon Brown. He's a Texas commit right now, arguably the best defensive tackle in the country. Xavier Larice, who plays safety for us, can kind of do it all. The kid has 48 offers right now. Those are probably my big two. But again, our 25 class is unbelievable right now. Kids like Emmanuel Small, who is arguably our best player. Kids like Jay Latson and AJ Forehand and Josh Roberts and all this talent we have all over the field. Latavius Welsh, the kid averaged 12 yards a carry at our level. We just have guys everywhere right now. And again, it's the dedication these guys have put in since day one when they got on campus. And now they're starting to reap the benefits of what they're doing. Obviously transfers are going to come, they're going to go and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you only can put 11 on the field. And I think our 11 that we're going to put out there is going to be a really strong group.
Coach, I mean no disrespect to anybody that's taken a snap for you, but I always felt like just maybe the one position that I felt your football team last year was outstanding was the quarterback position. Obviously everyone knows Joseph Allen is over there now. Coach, my opinion on this young man is by the time he graduates Brevard County, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this county if he's not already. You look at what he did last season. Tell me about Joseph.
Yeah, I think he was very underappreciated what he did last year as a freshman.
I agree.
Probably one of the more talented kids I've ever been around. And to be honest, we're going to compete at every position. Brody Grantland's done a great job for us, had a great offseason. But Joseph's talent is really special. Like I said, I think he was very underappreciated for what he did last year. And just a kid that, goes out there and competes, that does it the right way. And again, I think that, competition breeds success. And I think, Joseph's obviously been in our spring and understands the way we do things, and his talent level is elite. And again, like you said, he might be the best one of the best quarterbacks to lead in this county. I think already he's a top 2.
Yeah.
Talent wise, and the way his production on the field, and the way he carries himself, and where his family comes from, and comes from a family of athletes, and I think his future is extremely bright.
Yeah, I forgot. No disrespect, Brody. I love you, buddy. Now you got Brody and Joseph. That's a phenomenal thing. That's a phenomenal problem to have, Coach. When you got two guys like that.
Yep, and obviously, as we always do here, we're going to play the best player.
Yeah.
But competition every single day in practice, and just guys getting better. And we'd say it all the time. I don't care if you're Brandon Brown. If you're not better than the player that's behind you, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're going to put our best 11 on the field at all times.
Coach, what's your off-season schedule look like from here? What happens for your program this off-season?
Yeah, we don't take any time off. We've already started workouts this week, and we'll obviously progress into August. We just got to do what we do and work really hard in the weight room and get stronger and bigger and faster, and understand, we got a lot of kids going on official visits and doing all that jazz. But at the end of the day, when they're here on campus, they're here to work, and here to get better. And our expectation is to, like I said, get better every day. And I think our kids are doing that.
Coach, I know we talked about Brandon and you mentioned Xavier, but to have two of the best at their positions in this county, start with Xavier and what he brings. And I know you and I have talked about him before, but this is a young man that just seems to get more special every single day.
Yeah, to be honest, as much as success he had last year, he hasn't even scratched the surface of how good he is. I mean, I was at practice. I think it was Notre Dame and Clemson were sitting there with me watching him practice, and he just has natural ability and natural instinct that you can't really coach or put together or dream about having. He just has it. And again, to have a kid like that on the back end and have a kid like Brandon Brown on the front end, it kind of makes everything really hard for people to move the ball. And people don't understand, like, we have two long corners that have been playing for us for a while. They're both Division I players. We have Emmanuel Small, sitting right there in the alley, who's, our like I said, arguably our best player on our team. And then a kid like Josh Roberts, who has kind of emerged himself as one of the best recruits in this area. It's just a talented group. And again, obviously all of them reap the benefits of each other, but we got a great group on defense, and, guys like Ray Berry and Caden Davis hold it down in the middle. And I think, again, with Xavier's success, it comes with, the other 10 on the field as well.
How much of a building block for your program was that district championship win over Rockledge last year? Or is that something you have to move past? This is a new season. What can you take from winning a game like that?
No, it was huge. Obviously, since we've been here, we couldn't win the big game. And I think we finally were able to do that. Credit to Rockledge. Their program was elite and was elite for a long time. But again, I think it was just a time where we understood our expectation and understand what we were expecting as a staff to our players, and we needed to come out with a victory that day. But as we know that we're all 0-0 when the season starts, and hopefully our kids can kind of get past that and understand that not completely past it, because that's our expectation, but we got to go in every game and expect to win.
There's the schedule on the screen for the upcoming season, and it's not an easy one, especially to start. Vero Beach, and there will be no wait on the rematch for Rockledge, because that's going to take place August 30th. And then it's Heritage at Satellite versus University, at home at Titusville, at home versus Merritt Island, at home versus Palm Bay. a big time road trip to Tallahassee, Lincoln, and then you close out the regular season as you always do at this year to be at O'Galley. Coach, those first three right out of the gate, you're going to know what you got right away, won't you?
And we actually play Mainland in our kickoff classic. So we go
Wow.
Mainland, Rockledge, Heritage. But at the end of the day, when you're a successful program, it's hard to schedule. So we try to schedule all over the state. We have to drive to freaking Tallahassee because teams won't play us. So at the end of the day, it'll probably help us going into the playoff, run that hopefully we have to have that long trip to Tallahassee. But again, we play Mainland, Vero, Rockledge, Heritage. Our expectations are high for this group, and I think, like I said, you want to schedule tough to be able to go through those adverse times. So when you play in the playoffs, you've seen it all, and I think that our group, like I said, with the long trip to Tallahassee, playing a Vero Beach, playing a Mainland, playing a university who was a 10-2 team last year, those types of games will really help us when we're deep into the playoffs and have a chance to go play on into the state title.
What's the two more for you here, real quick? I know you got to get going. What do you see as the strongest part of this football team entering fall camp?
I think it's our almost leadership and kind of the process that all of our guys have already been through. This group has, a lot of them played as freshmen. Like I said, they went through that sophomore year, and they obviously had that year last year. They played a lot of varsity snaps. And I've said it, from the beginning, this year is our year to make a run, a really, really deep run, and have that expectation to win it all. And I think our seniority of doing it already, and have gone through the process of how we do things, and success and failure and all that stuff. They've kind of seen it all. So this is the time to kind of have those guys that are mature, that have been through this process, kind of take us and put us on their back, and let us see how far we can really go.
Coach, where were you the head coach at right before you came to O'Galley?
I was at Brooksville Central.
That's right. Coach, from the time you were there to now entering your seventh season, you've been at this a while. What's the one thing that you've learned year in and year out about your job that never changes?
People will talk, and people will not talk the truth. But at the end of the day, if your morals are correct, then you can continue to move forward. I've been a head coach over 10 years now, and I've seen it all from players to coaches to community to everything else. But as long as I'm true to myself, it really doesn't affect me. I'll continue to produce what I do on the field, and continue to do what I do this for a reason, is to get the kids to school. I'll as long as I keep my morals to me, and keep those at the top of my list, then I think everything will be okay. But again, I've been at this over 10 years now, and I've seen it all. I got thrown into the fire at 25 years old. So again, I think I've kind of been through the ringer a little bit.
Year in and year out, they are one of the winningest football programs in this county under Chris Sands. You cannot dispute the numbers. You cannot dispute the amount of student athletes that he has sent to play at the next level. Coach, much success to you this offseason and into the fall, and we will certainly see you, 3, 4, 5 times next year. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes. I know how busy you are in the summer. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes out of your day to spend with us here on Brevard Sports Network.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me.
All right. For Coach Chris Sands, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network.